I will welcome everyone who's here so far. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to your club officer training, Building on Achievement for Continued Success. As you heard, we will be recording this session. So if you prefer not to be identified, this is the time to turn off your video or change your name to initials for anonymity. I also serve as your chat moderator. So if you have to message, have a question, go ahead and send it to everyone so I can answer, or my colleague Karen Leeson here can answer your questions as well. I'll have another welcome when we hit the 10 o'clock mark. Thank you. How many do we have so far? 15. Oh, it's like popcorn, you know, and it starts popping and then it slows down. Food analogies here. Welcome. Okay, here's the 10 o'clock mark. Welcome again. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome to your club officer training, Building on Achievement for Continued Success. I am your host, Gina Rose, Division G Director for District 2. Our Zoom master today is Karen Leeson, West Seattle's Toastmasters, from West Seattle's Toastmasters, and she's also our District 2's Advanced Training Committee Chair. So let's give a good round of applause for Karen, who's supporting our training today. And this training has a broad focus, so all officers' roles can come together and build processes and a practice for a successful club. I wanted to maybe just share, sorry, maybe not, that we will have just one training today. We have one speaker, presenter, Tina Tate, and she will take care of our training today. Tina Tate is our program quality director, and she's no stranger in leading a training. But she was asked last minute to do this training because our previous presenter just got overwhelmed with work due to all of her coworkers being out sick with COVID. So Tina asked that you show her patience as she shares this training with you, and she hopes you will walk away with some useful information. Let's give a warm welcome to our facilitator today, Distinguished Toastmaster, Tina Tate.
Thank you so much, Gina. Welcome, everyone. I am so glad to see you on this sunny Saturday morning. And, you know, as Gina was saying, this is kind of a fly by the seat of my pants type of training. I've decided not to use any slides because I want this to be a conversation with all of you here. After you complete this session, you should be able to identify and describe the key elements of moments of truth and how to apply them within your club. Evaluate the current status of the club based on the club success plan and how it applies to the Distinguished Club program. And you should be able to construct a list of challenges and opportunities and discuss best practices to pursue them. So I want to start with a show of hands. How many of you know what the moments of truth is? You can raise your virtual hand if you'd like. Great. And how many, you can put your hands down. How many of you have used the moments of truth in your clubs? Great. Quite a few of you. That's incredible. Now, have you used the moments of truth recently, or has it been a while? Well, I'm going to ask each of you to type into the chat what you think the 6 moments of truth is. So I'm going to give you just a minute to do that and type into the chat what the 6 moments of truth are. Yeah, you didn't think you were going to have to think this hard on a Saturday morning, did you? When somebody comes to visit. Yes. Well, I'll let you continue typing into the chat the 6 moments of truth, but I'm going to tell you what they are. First impressions. Greet each guest at the door. Introduce the guest to officers and members. Member orientation. Assign a mentor for one-on-one assistance. Fellowship, variety, and communication. Issue a club newsletter regularly and maintain a website. Planning and organization. Begin and end meetings on time. Member strength. Continually plan varied and exciting club meetings. And achievement recognition. Maintain and post member progress charts at every meeting. Now, don't worry, you don't have to remember all of these, because in a little while, we're going to post the moments of truth into chat, and they will all be there. So, and you're going to discuss all of the moments of truth. So no worries, you don't have to remember each of those. The moments of truth is when anyone comes in contact with any aspect of the Toastmasters experience and forms an impression of the organization's quality and service. So let's type into chat again. Why are the moments of truth important? Why are they important? I'm going to give you just a minute again. To make a good first impression. Yes, that's an excellent one. When people come to visit your meetings, you want to make that good first impression. People won't come back if they come to your club meeting and they go, this is not really any good. I'm not going to come back. So getting new members means having a good first impression. It's part of the member experience, keeps the club healthy and strong. Intended to be used as a club self-evaluation tool. Absolutely. We need to constantly think about how our clubs are doing and how successful they are. And this is a great tool to evaluate that. Most important is an honest look at various facets of our clubs, provides connection. Great. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you all some time in the breakout rooms. Now, I'm going to apologize ahead of time that my presentation parts are going to be short, because I really want all of you to learn from each other rather than me telling you all the information. You're going to do some work in your breakout rooms and learn from each other on the moments of truth and what it all means and how your clubs are using them or using it or not using it. So Gina is going to post into the chat the moments of truth. So if you want to open that up or download it so that you have it, then you'll have all of the moments of truth and you'll have the plan. You can also find it on Toastmasters International by typing in the search moments of truth. So that's another way to get it if you happen to not save this for some reason. When you go into your breakout rooms, you're going to answer the question that I'm putting into the chat. So you're going to select 3 moments of truth on which to evaluate your club and discuss with the group. So I'm going to give you a minute. Raise your hand if you were not able to open the moments of truth that was put into the chat. So everybody was able to get it. Good. So when you go into your group, I want you to decide as a group which moments of truth, which 3 moments of truth you're going to discuss. And when you discuss the moments of truth that you're talk about how this is used in your club or not used in your club or should be used in your club. So just have a discussion with yourself about those moments of truth. And then when you come back to the larger group, we're going to have a group share out. So make sure and assign someone as a scribe, and that person will report out to the rest of the group. Is everyone clear on the instructions so far? Yes. Thumbs up if you're all good. Oh, Lillian is having some connectivity issues. So if you're in her group, let's show her a little patience with her connectivity issues. All right, Karen, let's open up those breakout rooms and let the group have their discussion. Uh-oh, Carrie.
Resuming recording. Oh, gave it an extra 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're on the 30-second countdown now. Here they come. Well, welcome back, everyone. I hope you had fun in that little activity and were able to share some really important information. When clubs successfully exemplify the moments of truth, members are provided something they value: a safe, supportive environment in which to achieve their goals. Clubs that embrace and use the moments of truth better enable their clubs to accomplish their goals, and in turn, the club accomplishes goals in the DCP. So with that, I'd like for all of you to, and I hope you paid attention to which group you were in, what room number. I forgot to tell you guys to look and see what room number you were in. That's okay. I can tell you which room you were in. So whoever was designated to share out, we're going to give you 2 minutes to share out with the group what your group talked about. Gina is going to be the timer. So make sure you can see her. She's going to give you a red. When the 2 minutes is up, that means that you need to wrap it up pretty quickly. All right, so room 1 was Greg Kenley, Rusty Ames, Ryan Bartholomew, and Zoe Evans. And I hope I didn't butcher any of those names. Who is your report out person?
This Rusty for group 1. Thanks.
All right, Rusty.
And we chose fellowship variety, member orientation, and membership strength. And on fellowship variety, everybody had the guest intro and thoughts at the end of the meeting built into their agendas. I did hear that having on the agenda to meet before the meeting starts, just to be prepared and make sure everybody is ready to go, and a good time to talk to the guests. And they even mentioned, give the table topics heads up to the guests that there's a chance for them to participate in the meeting, before the meeting starts. Is a good time. And then when there's a guest, people said that they go around and introduce everybody and tell why they come to Toastmasters. That was a good one. And we're working on a guest info page link on the web page, just to has something obvious for a guest to click on for more info. On member orientation, the Pathways Learning Curve was our big topic. And one club, they actually have a VP of Pathways. And because adding that load to the VPE just makes the heavy load even heavier. So having another person on the team helps a lot. And especially they said to explain the complexity of levels 4 and 5 to all the members, so you're ready for that, and you've kept the journal notes and just had that in mind when you get to those specific projects in levels 4 and 5. And on membership topic, friends and in person was the big way to get new club members. One club said even from the Toastmaster International link was the next way to get members. And then Facebook ads was another way. And I didn't realize that there's a way to use D2 to do Facebook ads, it sounds like. So that was good for me to hear.
Right.
And then
thank you, Rusty. That's your 2 minutes.
yeah, thank you.
Lots of good information. I love it. It sounds like you guys had a great conversation in your group. And talking about orienting new members, I just do want to mention that Karen is having an advanced training that is on March 3rd for new members. It's called Jumpstart to Toastmasters. So if you do have new members in your club, they can go to this training and learn lots of really good information too. So look for that on the d2tm.org calendar. All right, group 2 is Amanda, Eric, Jasmine, and Rick. All right, Rick, go ahead. You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm Rick Nishi with Bellingham Evening Toastmasters and Group 2 here this morning. We were not quite as specific as Rusty's groups, but I will tell you what we talked about. A lot of it centered on talking about the moments of truth. Actually, several of the clubs that were represented from our 4 people had already gone through moments of truth, and either had been a while or I was trying to come back to this as kind of a reorientation. And some of the things that we noted is that a lot of things changed from when the moments of truth were written in general, and how meetings have to be run on Zoom during COVID and during the pandemic and when we're not in person. Our club has converted to hybrid meetings. One of the other clubs had also been starting that. We're trying to do that as part of that, but we're still finding that it's hard to do some of those early greeting and first impression things that we used to do in person on Zoom or in other formats that we're using now, and that it's still very important, but it's just harder to do. Some clubs have had, Jasmine was with a club that had typically over 40 members, but and even when the pandemic started and they converted to Zoom, they went up to 50. But over the last year, it's kind of dwindled down to 25, which is lower than they started. And we're just trying to figure out ways to wrestle with that whole dilemma of trying to keep things the way they were in the moments of truth, or how they're outlined, and actually figuring out how to convert some of that to different mediums or something for our hybrid meetings or Zoom meetings. And so I think that's basically the gist of it. I don't know if the other members of that breakout room wanted to add anything. I guess my 2 minutes are up anyway. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rick. That's great. Sorry. All right, room number 3 was Marty, Nancy, Jordan, Sukoshi, and Vinod.
Okay, and I am the scribe, Mrs. Skoshi from Everett Pace Setters, but I'm up in Canada, so it's even farther than normal. So we chose to do the member achievement, member retention, mentoring page was the one we chose. And obviously strength is a big concern, because if you can't, it's double dutying and triple dutying for roles. Marty mentioned that it's important to find out what's in it for the member. So in other words, clubs that met for breakfast and used to share and eat, okay, now you're on Zoom eating your breakfast, and watching somebody eat isn't always fun. So it's finding out what other ways you can attract people to your Zoom meeting. And one of the suggestions that we had was to look at clubs that are being successful in spite of having to be on Zoom. And one of them that comes to mind is Shilling Toastmasters in the UK. They are thriving and they are very interactive and dynamic. So that was one of the suggestions. Another one was to, if your club is struggling with either retention or gaining new members, is to combine with another club. So maybe, or as Marty mentioned, maybe you're not combining your clubs, but if you have a club meeting at the same time, people can attend either or. But combining clubs, not losing your identity, but just combining for now until we can go back to in person, was one of the suggestions. Pathways is another challenge, and a suggestion we had from one member was she does a screen share with that either the member or the new member, and walks them through the pathways, because pathways is not user friendly, as many of us know. So making it less onerous is what one of the things that we should suggest.
Great.
And I guess I see the red light, so I'm done.
Thank you, Skoshi. Great information. I love all of the stuff that you guys are coming up with. Really, really good. All right, room 4 was Carrie, Melissa, and Michael Bruner.
Well, we didn't quite follow the instructions.
That's okay.
We spoke about hybrid clubs and websites. Michael's club has a very interesting and dynamic website, so we were talking about that. And we talked about trying to figure out how to make hybrid meetings work in this Zoom world, and the concerns about Omicron and the fact that things don't seem to be settling down anytime soon. And we also talked about getting new members and trying to start that process. But we unfortunately ran out of time because we spent a little bit too much time not being focused. So not very helpful.
That's okay. At least you were sharing some good information. All right, room number 5 was David Shore, Kylie, Morgan, and Tracy.
Yes, thanks. So we went into a lot of detail on program planning and membership strength. So we only got to 2, but we each rated ourselves. And hopefully Michael Bruner will agree. He and I are in the same club. So in terms of program planning and meeting organization, we all gave ourselves pretty high scores, 4s and 5s generally. So that one of the comments was the club is quite mature, or folks that have been around for a really long time, so the meetings are really well organized. In terms of pathways adoption, David and Tracy said that their club is really a mix. Lots of people still either on the paper programs or just kind of speak about whatever they want, whereas Morgan and I, our clubs are much more aligned to pathways. And in terms of positive and helpful evaluations, David and I gave our clubs very high scores, but then Tracy and Morgan, I think, were very thoughtful in that, well, the evaluations aren't always as helpful because they're always very positive. So they could do a little bit better with uh, constructive criticism. In terms of membership strength, we didn't rate ourselves as well. Membership, retaining members has been difficult in COVID, of course, we know. And then promotions within the community, there was mentions of using Facebook and doing Facebook ads, but generally we all gave ourselves 3s on promotion. In terms of club program and variety and keeping it exciting, I think it was Tracy, you said that she's in a couple clubs, and on one of the clubs, there's one individual who's very creative and very strong and always bringing really cool ideas. So that really stuck out to me. I think that's the truth. And a lot of times when you're in a big group, there's like one person that will really initiate, but otherwise just kind of steady state. But I think it was a really good exercise to reflect on these items.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kylie. So please, please, please take the moments of truth back to your clubs. Get together with your club officers, do the moments of truth with your clubs, and see what kind of things you come up with to strengthen your clubs and provide the members with the experience that they are looking for. All right, now we're going to talk about the club success plan. And now that you have evaluated your club via moments of truth, let's take a look at your club success plan. This is a mid-year evaluation of your plan. The club success plan is the framework your club uses to accomplish its goals. It tracks factors that ensure your club is successful in terms of member engagement, education achievement, and club quality. So, club success plan. How many of you have done a club success plan with your clubs? No, oh my goodness. Wow. I think now is a good time to do that with your clubs. Ryan's done one, yay. I did one with one of my clubs, and it takes quite a lot of time. So you're going to want to dedicate a whole meeting, or if you're doing it with your club officers, give yourselves an hour or so to do it. There's a lot of stuff to go through in your club success plan, but the club success plan really lines out the actions that you're going to take as a club to make sure that your members are achieving their goals and that your club is achieving its goals. And so if we don't have goals, we don't know where we're going, right? No goals, nothing to achieve. The club success plan gives you those goals and benchmarks for your achievement for your clubs. So you can use the moments of truth and then do your club success plan, and you should have a good outline of what your success will look like this year. Now, the next activity that we're going to do, even though it's going to have the success plan in there, what you're going to do is you're going to select and discuss 3 goals that you have either successfully completed or are on your way to successfully completing, and 3 challenges your club faces. So even though you may not have done the club success plan, you can still talk about some goals that your club has, some goals that you successfully have achieved, some goals that you are on your way to achieving, and some challenges. So I'm going to paste that into the chat. And you, again, you're going to have 15 minutes in the same group that you were in. Oh, thank you, Gina. I was just going to ask for that. Gina has posted into the chat the club success plan, so you'll have that to refer to. You can make notes so that you can take that back and do it with your club. But just take some time and make sure and check which room you're in. You're in the same rooms, so hopefully you know which one you're in. Assign someone to be the scribe and report out person. It can be another person from who did it last time, or it can be the same person. And take that time to discuss your club's goals and your club's challenges. All right, Karen, will you open the breakout rooms? Oh, first, wait. Is everybody clear on the instructions before we send you off? All right, good.
Sorry. We're just discussing the plan.
Yeah, so
We're
just
not, like, filling it out.
discuss with your group, even if you haven't done the success plan, discuss with your group 3 goals that your club has. Goals that you have either successfully completed, so you had a goal in mind and you've done it and it's all good, or maybe your club has a goal that you're on your way to completing, and then 3 challenges that your club faces. Is that good? It doesn't have to be within the success plan, because from what I heard, none of you have done it, but just goals that maybe your club or lack of, maybe you don't have any goals that you might put into place. Okay. All right, good. All right, Karen, open those breakout rooms. So it looks like we have somebody maybe that came in late. I'm going to pause the recording. Maybe.
Resume the recording.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had some good discussions again about your club's goals and maybe some ideas of how you can achieve those goals. The club success plan is a guide that your team uses to accomplish club goals. Reviewing and executing your club success plan will bolster the members' experience within your club as you reach new milestones. All right, we're going to have the group report out again. Did you all remember which room you were in? No, it's okay. You don't have to. All right. So group 1, Greg, Rusty, Ryan, and Zoe. Who's reporting out?
This is Rusty again.
Okay.
I really learned from Ryan that they have a way to have the contact form send the email to all of the officers. I thought we were limited to 3 on the free Tosos, but there's a way around that. That's a goal that they already achieve if they make sure all the contact info is correct and working right at the beginning of the Toastmaster year. We talked about it's hard to focus on giving kudos and recognition. That I think we've tailed off a little bit on Zoom. And Ryan talked about, as club president, he can go in and look at members. We couldn't remember the name of when you go into pathways and look at a member's curriculum and help them recognize that you can help them match their interests to an actual project, so we can keep people working on real projects, and then they'll have a reason to be recognized. So going in there and being proactive to find out ways to recognize your members. And then Zoe mentioned about the recognition of the awards, the nightly awards for speaker, table topics, whatever. And I was thinking, we have slides that we show on Zoom, and I should add another slide for some other award like Sparkplug. We just need to think of some other reasons to recognize people, because it's good to do that. And we talked again about how level 1 and 2 projects are common and 4 and 5 projects are rare. We need to go in and find ways to help people get to those. And we're thinking that also reminding members that I think it's presentation mastery, that path is a speech only path where you don't have to do some of the different types of projects where you can just focus on giving speeches. And I think that would help a lot of our members if they went on that path to be more comfortable just giving speeches. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Rusty. Excellent, excellent information. Love, love, love the discussions you all are having. All right, group 2, which is Eric, Jasmine, and Rick.
This is Rick again, reporting for group 2. We talked about different goals, but Jasmine's club talked about struggling to get members to participate actively. That is signing up early for roles on the agenda and participating thoroughly throughout the meetings and trying to get member retention and increase members was something that we all mentioned in different forms throughout the discussion. Amanda talked about a lot with her club, the Timber Talkers, trying to improve the progression through pathways and the progress that people make throughout their pathway or time in Toastmasters. And so keeping pathways to keep on the, instead of just doing a kind of a speech that's not on a pathway. Also trying to increase membership. It's especially hard. She was one of the only in our group that was part of a corporate club, and they are meeting remotely. They're not even going to their office that frequently. So it's hard to keep that increase in membership up, and then preventing, and in doing so, preventing burnout because they are a noon club or a lunchtime club. So it's hard for people to always give up their lunch hour for that time, even though it's always a beneficial thing, but it's just hard to do when you've got so many meetings, so much other things going on at work. I talked about hybrid. We've converted to hybrid meetings at our club, and we're also still struggling with retention and trying to get that and trying to get more guests to come more frequently. We are having an open house, but that's just a one-time thing. So we'll work on that. And Eric mentioned a couple interesting things. We talked about his club, his membership has gone down. They have kind of a strong core of about 6 people, and they have 6 people, the other people that come in frequently. And a lot of them have been in Toastmasters for a long time. Several of them are DTMs. And we all talked about kind of how overall there's a retention problem. And I think he mentioned that how it's, everybody comes for different reasons to Toastmasters, and we all remember that. But it's good to remember that if they come and they are successful and they leave, which maybe after a short time or relatively short time, you should still think that's a great success for the club and for the member and for the officers to help that person achieve those goals early. And even if they're not a long time member, don't go through multiple pathways or become a DTM. So
awesome. Thank you so much, Rick.
Thank you.
Great information. Right. Group 3, Marty, Nancy, Skoshi, and Vinod.
Thank you. Okay, so for me, I had put sticking to the club success plan, trying to achieve 1 point a month. So basically, we're at our 5 points now in DCP, so we're on track. It gives us a goal. Doing a speechcraft to attract businesses so we can hopefully get more members. Having an outdoor event, so maybe it's not a meeting, but maybe it's just an event and we get that personal touch again, and that can be organized by your sergeant at arms. Haha, Rusty. So that was my suggestions. Nancy, she said one of their goals is to transition to having a corporate sponsorship, and that means they can reach out better to the community and get members. Another strong point was being truthful within ourselves, because we're achieving burnout, a lot of us, and we have to just say, okay, it's okay to be burnt out, to switch to maybe meetings every 2 weeks instead of every week, or whatever your club is doing. And her other point was to have oh no, that was the permission, truthful and then permission. And then Vinod, his challenge was to, get younger members and engage the members better. They are doing physical posters to outreach to the community. Marty, she said they had a success goal for their first quarter, which was for each person to reach out to another person to get them, to come to a meeting, to stretch themselves by, she felt we should institutionalize the membership process, how we're going to plan to get members. Oh, I'm running out of time, and strategize on how to handle things virtually. And that's it for me.
Great. Thank you so much, Koshi. Excellent goals there. I like those goals. All right, group 4. Carrie, Gang, Melissa, and Michael Bruner.
So we talked a lot about, I don't know that we actually came to any solutions, but we talked about the problems facing achieving goals, specifically educational award goals, where we have a mix of newer members and older members. How do we keep the members who have been around a while engaged and on plan? How do we handle folks who are just rejecting pathways and doing speeches, participating in meetings, but not participating towards achieving any club goals? And finding people where they are, meeting their needs, and encouraging people to actively participate without shaming or making the other members who are not as active feeling like, oh, maybe they want to step away because they're being overshadowed. So it was a lot of discussion about how to kind of resolve these goals. We didn't come to any solutions because they're big challenges and we had limited time. But these are the kinds of things that all the clubs that we are in were facing. So that was the area of our discussion.
Yes, big audacious challenges. Yes. So right now, while we're still thinking about it, if anybody has any suggestions for Melissa's group on any of the things she just said there as challenges, type it into chat and everybody can take that away with suggestions. As we hear from group 5, who was David, Kylie, Morgan, and Tracy.
I can speak for our group. We talked about a few different things. We started off by talking about what do you do to keep members engaged. We talked about how we do outside activities, for instance, that really foster relationship building and sort of that camaraderie, especially during COVID. This sort of thing is very important for members to keep them engaged. David talked about holiday parties. Kylie talked about what are called post-toast prosties, if I got that right. I really feel like my club could improve in this arena, just providing more membership programs, such as a mentorship program, just ways to keep members motivated. The second thing that we talked about was different types and formats of meetings, so hybrid meetings, and also the impact of virtual meetings on new members, retainment. So David found that going virtual actually meant that many members dropped off due to, technology concerns or issues. Kylie talked about how going hybrid was a success for her club over the pandemic. And I actually mentioned that going hybrid was still a goal for our club. So we're all in sort of these different phases, and we are keeping in mind whether our actions will negatively or positively impact new members or retainment when it comes to the types of meetings that we're holding. The last thing that we sort of ended on was this really interesting idea from Tracy about new membership. I hope I get this right, but she mentioned that her club was working with the Lummi Business Association, who is actually going to help sponsor new tribal members and their new member fees. So that's one way that Tracy is getting some new members for one of her clubs, which I found to just be really interesting. So great discussion.
Great, thank you. Love, love, love all of the ideas and goals. So I'm going to have you take a minute and each one of you type into chat one of the goals that your group discussed. It's okay if you put in the same one, because I want you to save the chat, and I'll tell you how to do that in case you don't in a minute. And take that back and have that for your clubs. We want those ideas to go with you, not just shared in this meeting. So take a minute and type one goal or solution into the chat for me. Right. So to save the chat, in case you don't know how, if you go to the chat box, over off to the far right side is 3 little dots. If you click on that, that will give you an option at the top to save chat. It'll put it in a Word or not a Word document, but a notepad type document. And you can have that for later, so you can refer back to it. All right. So I hope everyone enjoyed this little exercise of learning from each other. As a club leader, it is your responsibility to deliver a positive member experience. By revisiting and using moments of truth, the club executive committee ensures the club delivers quality meetings and provides a positive member experience. Reviewing and executing on your club success plan will both bolster the members' experience within your club as you reach new milestones. All clubs have areas of opportunity. By sharing ideas and best practices, the member benefits as more goals are accomplished. By sticking to the plans and goals you have set in place, you will be able to accomplish more within your clubs. There are some resources for you on the Toastmasters International website, along with the Moments of Truth and Club Success Plan, which are there, is the Club Leadership Handbook. If you don't have that or you haven't downloaded it, just type in search on the Toastmasters International website, Club Leadership Handbook, and then you can download it and have it to use for yourself, your executive committee, and your clubs. That brings me to the conclusion of my presentation. I'm just going to go, since I'm already talking, Gina, normally, if I was the presenter, I would hand it back to Gina, and then Gina would introduce me to do announcements, but I'm just going to go right into announcements. I do want to tell you all of a couple of super exciting things that we have coming up. We have our leaders breakfast on February 5th, starting at 9 a.m. Our lineup of speakers is amazing. We have Roddy Spear, who is our second vice president of Toastmasters International. We have Lance Miller, who is the 2005 world champion of public speaking. And we have Lee Amantangelo, who's going to lead us on a history of leadership. I hope you all can make it. Please take it back to your clubs. You don't have to be a club officer to attend this. Even though you may have gotten credit for this training, please come. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it does count as club officer training credit. So if you have club officers that haven't been trained yet, maybe that's a good place they'd like to go. And then we have our conference that is happening in May. And I'm happy to share the news with you that we will have the current reigning world champion of public speaking, Verity Price, presenting at our conference. That starts on May 14th with our business meeting, and we'll have educational sessions throughout that week. Verity Price will be presenting on May 22nd, and we'll have our contests on May 23rd. I hope I got all those dates right. Look for more information coming up on that, but get it on your calendar. It's going to be a fantastic conference this year, and I'm so excited about it. And as always, look on the d2tm.org website for all of our club officer trainings. They're all in there. So if you have club officers that still need trained, get on them. You want Super 7 because you get D2TM dollars. And what does that mean? You can do Facebook posts. You can put it towards your Zoom account. There's lots of different things that are approved for you to use those for, and it will benefit your club. With that, I would like to hand control of this meeting back to our Division D Director and Chair, Gina Rose.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you for the announcements. Really exciting events coming up. And for being our trainer today, most importantly, thank you for sharing your wisdom and leading the district in quality programming. Let's give Tina a silent applause, please. And thank you, Karen, for being our Zoom host. Without you, we would not have run this meeting smoothly. And at this point, please fill out a survey link that I will put in the chat, posting to everyone. There it is. Surveys help us improve your training. So I hope majority of you will fill out the survey link, after which you have finished giving your feedback. You may exit the Zoom meeting. Thank you so much for being here today, and all the best in accomplishing first your plans, then your goals, then your processes and practice. Thank you again. You've just completed your officer club training at Building on Achievement for Continued Success.
Thanks, everybody.
Have
Enjoy
a
your
wonderful